This is Celeste, and we are going live. How's everybody doing? Everybody doing good? It's a little cold out today, so I've got a few jackets on. So yeah, we're going to have a discussion. We're going to be looking into the flow and how flow affects everything else within your multidimensional realities, the body, finances for sure, right? The flow, we talked about the gratitude and appreciation, having that as a staple. So important for health and healing. Hello, sweetheart. How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. And it's feeling a little more like the seasonal holidays, right? I know we talked yesterday about the plans that everybody's got and just having some time with family. You know, those, and you can have those friends that feel like family too, right? Because some of us don't really have family, you know. So you can have the family in whatever way that works for you. But just make sure you have that time with family, you know, your community and things like that. And you're gonna, I was talking with somebody that I've met here in the community, and he's such a sweet person. So you just have those connections. The connections this time of year are so important. And what came up about that, we were talking about the flow, you know, the flow of source, the flow of having that continually flow of the things that make you happy, and honoring when that's not working, right? When there is no flow, and how to get that flow back. And so really having that time is important. So when you don't have flow, how can you add that back? Because the whole point about ascension is to get yourself back to center, right? Is to, whatever's making you out of balance, is to come back into center. So it's really important. And so just keeping that in as a part of your everyday, right? Your everyday thing. So yeah. Did you have any news that came about for Christmas and for seasons? Anybody that's going to be visiting? It's going to be seen. I'm just going to see if I can go to a quieter place. Just going to see if we can go to a quieter place. How's everybody doing? Good, good, good. I can't wait to get set up in my own little office. My own little office. Hey. One day we're going to go out for dinner. We're going to have a little dinner space. Okay. So we're going to chat. So that flow is really important. Flow is going to be so important for just keeping up the gratitude and appreciation. Making sure you get to reset. The resetting for ascension is really key. You know, whatever throws you off, to make sure you're coming back to center. That center helps reset whatever vibration you're going to be in, that you're choosing to move forward. That's intention, right? Your intention and your flow. Hi. So that resetting is really important. Right next to a heater. Ukrainian young girl to join me for us. Oh, that's nice. Yay. Yeah, I know a lot of people that are doing, you know, for Christmas, they're just doing a lot of volunteering. So it's nice. A lot of the people that I talk to are doing a lot of volunteering. You know, just getting 2026. 2026 is refocusing of proper use of resources, proper use of just making sure you have time to balance your body, right? Balance your health and your wellness out. That's super. 2026 is going to be a complete shift of what we've been dealing with, because there's going to be so much that's come out about the corruption, and it's going to allow people to just do an about face. It's going to be needed for the healing for many. And then those of us that have been prepared and been ready to help the collective, we're just going to be slotted in our positions to, you know, be the purveyors and help guide people in whatever direction. So that's why there's been a lot of light workers that have been so prepared for the last 10 years. I know many of us, we've been putting in so much work just so that whatever source has for us available, we're going to be needed in all different corners. Yesterday I saw, we're going to talk about Celestials. The Celestials want to come in and talk. Right, just getting the energies, the grounding in the energies for the Celestials. So what I saw was the Arcturians and the Pleiadians are working together with preparing the part of there's enhancements to do with the brain for multidimensionality, so that when you're sensing their energy and when you're with their energy, you're going to be brought into activating some of the lifetimes you've had in those experiences. It's really strong. They've been slowly introducing it to me, and it's really, really strong. Which I was having a great time because I was looking forward to. I was like, okay, more, right? But they have to do a little bit at a time, and it's like they're presenting themselves to you in a dream. It's kind of a dream, but it's not really a dream, because if you have your third eye open, you can see it. You can see them before you, but it's just not. They're not right. It's not like a physical. You can't touch them, but you can see them in your third eye, and they're right there, and you get that energy that's really close. It's really close. And it's absolutely celestial. It feels so. It just feels as if you're. How do I explain it? It's like you're just having them stand before you is like a portal, so that you can. That's how I feel, anyways. If they're standing before you, you can use them as a portal to transport yourself. That's how strong their energy is. That's how celestial their energy is, right? So that was really cool, having them stand before me and then taking on that energy. I really loved it. It was reminding me of the various timelines that I held. That energy is so high, right? The energy was so high, and you just have that automatic understanding of healing. You know, you can, when they were standing before me, I was thinking, they were just reminding me, how do I explain this? Somebody has the ability, the Celestials, they have the ability to come and go as they please. Like, they'll show up just by thinking, right? So just as they're standing before you, that thought is that's who they are. So it's presenting itself to you. So you remember, and then you start thinking, well, do I know how to bilocate? Do I know how to dematerialize? Do I know how to... So those are the things I'm talking about. It's energy transference, I guess. So that when they're standing before you, it's like a portal. Their existence, how they are, how they live in every minute, can be just transferred to you just by standing in front of them. That's why we have to prepare ourselves. You can't just say that, you know, you're going to have first contact, but that's a real experience. They're standing before you, and they materialize and dematerialize that thought. So how are you going to do that if you can't understand that? You don't even know what multidimensionality is. So that's why you do have to prepare yourself, because when they're standing before you, you do feel the energy of what they do. You know, and those of us that are conduits, because that's what source is, right? We have a window. A conduit is like, we have this mesh window where we can see all the different parts of source. So if it's like a dematerializing, or if it's like seeing another planet just by thought, because they can open up their third eye, they open up their third eye to you, and they project that image to you. That's how the telepathy works. So you can use those as portals, and they're giving you that so that you can practice. But you have to be willing to go there, right? You don't have to fear it. You know, some people might fear because, I've never done that before. You know, I don't know if I'm doing this right. Or you just have these really weird multi-dimensional experiences. If you're not used to it, it can just throw you really off. But for me, it was just like, yeah, more. So anyways, that's really cool. It's really cool that when they're standing before you, and why you have to prepare yourself, you know, when they're standing before you, they're presenting. If you can pick up, if you can clairsentience, clairaudience, claircognizant. Now, however your clairs are, no matter what is higher strength for you, you're going to feel it. So you're going to feel whatever they're presenting in their energy. So if they can dematerialize on Sirius, or if they are in their unique light ships, that's in their field, and you can feel it. That's what I'm trying to say, because I'm claircognizant. So your clairs are going to be felt when these beings are before you. So I guess in similar, they're just saying me now, that's how people feel in front of me, because when people stand in front of me, I think about multidimensional things that most people don't think about, right? So it's normal for me. It's normal for me to be like this, but it's not normal for everybody else. But for me, have the Pleiadians and Arcturians stand before me, they can do things I can't, and it was like, yeah, I want more. So they were just showing me the mirrored reflection of me to these people and humanity to me, kind of like the Jacob's ladder. So that's really cool. Yeah, the study rooms are all being used today. So I just wanted to get a quick video in, and just taking advantage of the beautiful sun. The sun just came out just now, so thank you. So we're just going to turn in if there's any messages for anybody. Just place your consciousness on your heart. So they're saying that there's going to be a strong propensity, whatever that word is, whatever that word is, a strong propensity to travel. So things are really going to be moving around. Lots of travel. Just because we have to, shake up the energy and move about. And, of course, you're going to be in those wonderful synchronistic flow experience. You're not controlling anything. You're going to be meeting the people that you need to meet to, have those experiences you need to have. So travel is going to be really important. I'm just going to see if there's that other room that's available. What did you say? Spirit? Want to go for a walk with me? Are we walking? Isn't it the way she walks? The way she plays? The way she walks? She plays. Okay. Okay, they're talking about the systems of light. Everybody knows the systems of light are the systems that I deal with, that I connect with, right? Galactic federations. They're talking about the star children. Star children are going to be connecting with us. Those of us that have been used to connecting, we've been talking about this for 10 years, my clients and I, we talk about galactic federations and the star children and our celestial teams and guides. Star children are going to be connecting with us. They're saying their energies are a lot like the energies that are here on the Children's Collective. So we're going to be assisting the Children's Collective by having those energies in our fields. That's really wonderful. I'm so happy about that. That makes sense, because we were just talking about the flow of source helps you with that energy transference. So again, when higher vibrational beings stand before you, which kind of helps me explain when people are so triggered by my energy, because I have so much celestial energy and angelic energy in my field that people just get triggered, right? So when these beings were standing before me, they were just them standing there. I was already starting to think about dematerializing and materializing, like, where could I go if I could just like think it, right? And you start thinking about the process of it, and you start getting your consciousness used to the I am presence, that yes, I can, I am. So that's how the brain is wiring itself back into multidimensionality, because you know that you can do these things. You're a source creator. So in that, how does the brain, what does the brain need to know, right? It doesn't need to have that cognizant, like step 1, step 2, step 3. It just knows that it can, and then you're allowing yourself the recognition, the remembrance of those higher celestial gifts. So that's what that energy transference was reminding me. That's how those activations can be, just like that. But sometimes you do need to have those higher vibrational beings stand before you to get those activations, especially if you're around so many low vibrational people, or there's people that are not at your level. You do have to have those situations. So your teams and your guides will set you up at those situations where higher vibrational beings can give you those activations, because they have that next level of consciousness that you need to tap into, right? And so that's why we do have the activations that we do, because they're meant to activate you into what you're not working with or practicing yet or thinking about even. So you have to think about it first in the higher mind to say, yes, that's possible. That's the God mind. Because nothing can be healed and nothing can be done unless your God mind has said, yes, it is. So you have to get your God mind there first. Once your God mind is there, then everything falls into place. You just start remembering it. It's like, it's like remembering how to ride a bike, right? Right? These things are all, we do all these things in our higher dimensions, right? Like my 7th dimensional knows how to travel in and out of space without a rocket or without a light ship. It just goes there through thought. So we can do these things. So first cognizing it. Okay, I know that I can. The higher mind says I can. So what's the next allowance of it? The flow of source. So allow source to flow through you. What blocks are hindering you from thinking that you can manifest from thought? What are the blocks that are hindering you from manifesting a soulmate that loves you and will not abuse you? So just allow the flow of source to bring up whatever brings up. But the flow of source is, again, allowing that multidimensional energy to allow, I call it imprints. That's how it felt. Transference and imprints are like, it's just source or a higher vibrational being just pressing on you. And it's just something you know. You don't have to, again, you don't have to take a class, class level 1, level 2, level 3. You don't have to do that. It's just the imprint, you know it. That's what an imprint means to me, right? You don't have to go through step 1, step 2, step 3. You don't have to go through the linear. No, you're just getting imprinted, and it's a knowing. So that's how these beings, and why we've said you have to be prepared. Because when these beings stand before you, your multidimensional mind is going to go, there's energies here I don't understand, right? But because I'm multidimensional, because I love that type of thing, a higher vibrational being is really exciting to me. I get really excited. I don't go into psychosis. I'm just like, yeah, more. So that's what I mean by your multidimensionality. Your consciousness has to be practiced. And it's not something where it's a quantitative experience. It's qualitative. It's about the quality of your thoughts, about the quality of your allowing source to flow, allowing you to understand consciousness and how you expand into higher breath, how you expand into the inhale and the exhale. It is about the flow of source. The more you allow source to flow, you start allowing the enhancements in your brain, working with your teams about the enhancements in your brain, if you want to. Most people don't. I do. I don't know why you wouldn't want to work with your teams with the enhancements with your brain, but there's people that don't. But that's okay. I do. I want to know what's going on, just because I love learning about the brain, right? It just is something that I find fascinating. So we talked about imprints and the flow of source. I just check it if there's any more messages. Okay, so they're just saying that there's going to be a lot of those for source, for celestials are going to be helping us. Those of us that are ready to be on the front line healing, there's going to be those clearing. Yeah. Well, that's what they were just saying that. So your psychic Cluedo. Your psychic, because that's what they just said. They said that there's going to be more and more people approach you that want to know. They're not satisfied with their everyday life. They're facing this, and this, and this. So they're going to go through a list of 3 or 4. You can't go through too much because, one thing is usually related to the next. If you heal a couple of things, it's going to be related. That's why I've been doing my sessions for really a long, long time. So when they start talking about something, I let them talk first, because sometimes as they're releasing all of the energies they need to release and talk to me, I can go through the healing, and what I say normally will heal all the questions they have, because one thing does lead to another, and it is kind of cascading. So those questions in a healing session. So if anybody that's looking for a healing session, you can, you can book a session, and we can just go through whatever it is you're asking, whether it's how to connect with your teams, how to connect with spirit, how to connect with source, if it's a physical ailment, if it's learning how to be more psychic and all those things, or vocational alignment. I love doing vocational alignment sessions, I really do, because it helps me put my business experience, with the spiritual. So I love doing vocational alignment sessions, and then also helping businesses, level themselves up in, 5D alignment. So I really love that. So just book a session, and then I send a link for usually a time and a day that we can connect. Usually within the 48 hours, we can usually connect. And it depends on the time zones too. Most of my clients are in the UK. So they were saying that those of us that have been on the front line for a while, that we're ready to go as light workers, we're ready to go as healers. There's going to be a lot more people coming to us, presenting themselves to us that need healing, and will run through the dissatisfaction with their lives. And so just know that, because again, it's Christmas time as well. So that's when people usually start feeling, is this really what I want for next year? They start looking at what is my next year going to look like, and how satisfied am I, fulfilled, right? It's all about the soul fulfillment. That's why I talk about the 3 E's. Because if you're doing the 3 E's, that's all that really matters. That's the soul. The soul wants to be 3 E's all the time. That's all it cares about. And most people are not, because it's taught and ingrained to be, church and state, expectations and conformity, and what others think that you should be, and so on and so forth. Right? So it's just in training your wholeness and reconnecting with source. That alignment with source is everything. Allowing that flow of source, so that you can start healing those chakras deep within your chakras. Because usually the dissatisfaction means that you're not being fulfilled. You're not filling yourself up with the love that you need. You're not filling yourself up with self-care and self-love, and having those few people that really tell you at a soulful level, no, you really matter to me. This is why you matter. And so I was just saying to my friend that that came and saw me, he just stopped in and talked, and we had like a 2-hour conversation. We were just supposed to say hi, but we had a 2-hour conversation, and he's very open, and he's very open and loving like that. So he just said, I want you to know how important you are. And we had our little cry, right? But that's the flow of source. We allow each other that flow of source, and that's the friendship that we have. But we're very new friends. We've only known each other for a very short time, but that's just because we're on the light worker path kind of thing. It's easier to be that way, as opposed to with family and friends that you're used to. They're not quite accepting it, because they're the ones that are there to catalyze you. So just know that you have to have that flow, and looking for it and seeking it and attending it. You're going to have those situations come up. That's why I wanted to talk about flow today, because it was an intention that I had. And then, my friend Michael came up, and we just had this beautiful, loving conversation. And then it reminded me of the Celestials, that they were standing in front of me, and they had activated me, because it's not very often that I get activated with other people, right? In that way, like a celestial way. I get activated by people all the time in different ways, but in the celestial way. So that's why the Celestials do come and visit me quite a bit, because they do activate me with my other DNA that is celestial. So I love those experiences, and I have to share them, because it's why I started my channel. It's why I started my radio show way back when, was to really talk about the unity consciousness of our higher vibrational beings and our celestial families, preparing for first contact and all that fun stuff. But I wanted to talk about that activation, because that's preparing for first contact. Preparing for first contact, that's what that really is about. It's about getting those activations so that you can remember, oh yeah, I remember that. You're just peeling back the veil, right? Like the curtain, you're like, again, the many mansions. You know that it's a part of you, but if you're not going into the room, if you're not facing that room, you sometimes forget that, oh yeah, that's right, I do have celestial background, I do have alien background, I do have psychic background. All of those things is just integrating the wholeness of you, the wholeness of source, the flow of source. So to integrate it, you need the flow, right? Integration is the alchemy side of it, is that recombining. So you have to have source flowing through you to allow all of those other aspects to just come back together in oneness. So that's really what that is. I'm just seeing if there's any other messages. If anybody has any questions, you can ask them in the chat room. Commander Ashtar and the Systems of Light, is there anything you'd like me to specifically say? Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you. So they're saying, don't deny yourselves of the things that are important, to you, to increase that flow, right? So along this process, you shouldn't be denying yourselves of anything, except if you know there's things that are toxic. You want to deny yourselves of those things, right? You know that you should be letting certain things go. But don't deny yourself of the things that are meant to make you happy, Yeah. And just really, and it is just sometimes placing your hand with intention, because your hand is also used as your heart chakra, and getting them used to healing themselves. And just placing the hand on whatever body part feels in pain, and just slowly breathing into that space, focusing on the hand, sending light to that space. So the breath and light and your hand at the same time. Because then you're self-healing, right? Like when you place your hand on your divine sacred heart, you're sending light to the heart, and you're connecting with your heart. Right? This is my space for Source Creator. This is my space for love and light. Because in the center of your hand is your heart chakra. That's why in a lot of the, I think, Eastern religions, they have the hand like this with the third eye. And that is the all-knowing God. But it's also your heart chakra. So you have lots of chakras in your hands. So that's why it's good to use your own hands for your own healing. So this is why I always, sweep up like this. Sweep the densities up, sweep up, sweep up, sweep up. And then you visualize light coming down, and you visualize light coming up through your inhale breath from Gaia. And then you just sweep up, sweep up, sweep up the densities, sweep up the densities. And it just takes 3 sweeps, and already I'm burping, right? So already those negative energies are coming up. So sweep up, back is straight. So it just takes 3 or 4 sweeps, and you start burping and releasing that negative energy. And there's so much energy that's negative that we hold in our lower chakras, because that's where all the negative energies of people are projecting. If you live in negative environments, the projections usually come at your sacral and your lower abdomen. And it's just something natural that humans do, because we rarely look at people in the eye, right? So usually when people are very wounded and you're in a negative environment, they usually aim for your sacral and your lower chakras. Just because we're not practiced at looking people in the eye. We're not practiced at being human and connecting. So we're having to reconnect and allow ourselves that easier flow. And once you have that flow, then you're connecting from the heart chakra up, right? There's always a reason why we go to the lower chakras, because that's where people are wounded. Once you start, focusing on the solar plexus and up, then you're getting your confidence, right? Because you don't mind looking people in the eye. There's nothing to hide, right? It's those people that look away from you and can't look you in the eye. They're looking down all the time. No, look up. There's nothing to hide. So you'll see that as just a behavioral. That's how, if you're a healer, you'll get to know, signs and symptoms like that. If people are constantly looking at the floor, there's a lot of energy there that's stuck in the lower chakras. Those that are very, open, and their chest is open, and they've got their heart chakra, their chakras are open, and they're willing to deal with you on all their chakras. There's not a lot of blockages there, and they've got a lot of flow. So as a healer, you'll get to know how people behave around you. Do they present themselves, with an open chakra system, or is it closed and they're bent down looking at the floor all the time? And usually, if they're in a negative environment, people that project at the lower chakras, because that's where they're wounded. They don't know that. People don't know that's how they project, but they do. And then there's those that are in practiced dark occultism, and they intend to send certain energies at certain chakras, and that's totally different. But usually in a subconscious way, people walk around projecting to where their wounding is. So that's why, again, if you're healing people, you can say most often than not, if there's a lot of lower chakra wounding, it's also the lower chakra wounding that is also in the household that they exist within. so that they can have that, oh yeah, that's a, it's a common thing that you're both working on. So you can be a little bit more compassionate with each other, and not so much in the blame. Sweeping up, it just takes 3 or 4 sweeps, and just practice it. Sweep throughout the day just to clear the negative energies. Because as people walk around, they're constantly projecting because they don't know how to work with their fields. They don't know how to, start off from a neutral state. If you're doing it in the morning, then you're walking around without projecting, right? Because you've done your healing work in the morning, and then you do your healing work at night. So you're not projecting around your house. So those are just easy little things that we can practice in our classes. When we're going to start our classes in January, there's all just great little things that you can practice. Is it glitching? It doesn't show any glitching on this end, but I know there's huge energies this weekend. Lots of big energies. So let's talk about celestials. So we're going to talk about celestials again. Just want to see if there's any messages. If you want to send any questions through telepathy, then I can pick it up if you want to ask questions. Anybody in the chat room. We're talking about flow today. The flow of source, the flow of source helps you activate your psychic gifts, as I talked about my experience with my celestials. And it also helps you with healing, if you're a healer, and how to use flow with the assistance of healing others, and then guiding you to where the energy is blocked, right? You just tune in, where's the energy blocked? Hello, UK. Nice to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, you can ask questions. Ask any questions about consciousness. Yes, I'm going to be coming to the UK. I would like to go to Scotland. That's where I'd like to have an event, is in Scotland. I've visited there a short period of time. I'd have to look up places to book. I'm not familiar with the places in Scotland. I was at a few places there, but nothing that's like a place to book where you could actually have people, an event with people. I think maybe 40 or 50. I think that would be a good one. Yes, I'm single. Sorry, what did you say, Spirit? That's fine. You can just have them go through to my sessions. Yeah, so what we talk about, Spirit just wants me to confirm, what we talk about is remembering yourself as a higher consciousness being, and what is consciousness, how to experience of consciousness, capacity, and aptitude. The process of ascension with your 3 E's, right? What is the soul? How is the soul going to be more fulfilled? It is the 3 E's. That's all that matters. That's all your soul cares about, is the exploration, the expression, and your experience as a soul, as the aspect of source creator, right? That's all that counts. That's all that matters to your soul. It's the ego that thinks it has to maintain its conformity in, in society. And that's just going through our beliefs and healing all of that. What do our parents expect of us? What is the, socio entitlement and all those things that we're brought up in? That's not really what the soul cares about. They're just things we have to heal and integrate. So that's why we do have the ascension process, the 3 E's and the 3 A's. The 3 A's is your alchemic side of it. So acknowledging of what's going on, acknowledging the wound, accepting the wound, be a part of your story. You're not suppressing it, you're not depressing it, you're not ignoring it, you're not hiding it, you're not pretending it's not there. The acceptance is so profound. So acceptance to me is equal to expression. Expression is the most powerful attribute for healing and for going through ascension, is the E. It's just because humanity has been so suppressed with our expressions. And so judged, right? And so too is acceptance. Acceptance is, okay, you're on that, you're going down the hill once you accept it. Once you accept where you're at, you make peace with where you're at. Then you're going down the hill, and you're going into that, okay, now I can let that go, and I'm going to be, you're going to be moving into new energy, You know, all of those densities will get released and you feel lighter. You actually feel lighter. I do anyways, because I'm so sensitive. Perth, Scotland. I didn't know there was a Perth in Scotland. There's a Perth in New Zealand. Is it? No, Australia. Is it Perth, Australia or Perth, New Zealand? Perth, Australia, I think. I think I have a friend that lives there. Hello, Sweden. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, Sweden. So they're saying that there's going to be less and less obstructions in how we want to expand our consciousness and the things that we really choose to really go wide and far with, how we're going to learn and our learning process. So just be okay with that too, right? That it's not going to be as hard, and all the blocks that we've had to learn what we want to learn, to really talk about and work with those people that also want to learn the things that we want to learn. So there's going to be less obstructions that we're going to be finding. It's going to be a lot more free flowing with source, free flowing with what you want to learn and explore and express. So that's really great. So they're saying there's going to be less challenges that you have to get through. Like, we're not going to be going through the I call it the slogging it out, right? It's not going to be that dense anymore. It's going to be a lot easier flowing because there's going to be a lot of dense energies lifted. As those dense energies are lifted, it's easier to move through. So a lot of us have done a lot of the alchemy for the collective, so it's going to be a lot easier for them to move through. So doing the ascension process is going to be much easier for them than it has been for us the past 10 years, right? So you're welcome. If you want to donate, that would be really wonderful. Thank you, Yorkshire man. Yorkshire. Is there any celestials that want to come through for anybody in the anybody in the chat room? Thank you. Thank you. It's a little bomber jacket. It got really short. It's like a super short waist. We're gonna have a couple of shows where I get to talk about fashion. I love fashion, and talk about it. Talk about like just little casual things. We'll have like a coffee time, and we'll talk about herbs, and we'll talk about essential oils. I love talking about essential oils and tonics, right? We'll maybe make a tonic together, a healing tonic. Maybe we can do healing tonic. And we'll talk about fashion, and we'll talk about beauty and divine feminine and healing divine feminine, masculine, sexual energies, right? We're going to have a lot more conversations about healing the sexual energies, becoming more mature and more free-flowing with who we are as source, and not hiding it and having it be like a fans only thing. No, we're going to have a little bit higher standards. I like rain boots. I like ankle boots. Ankle boots are really good because you can transition it to whatever outfit you want, whether you're wearing a skirt or whether you're wearing trousers or denim. Ankle boots are really an easy transition item. So you should always have ankle boots in your closet. Okay, let's talk about, was there anything you wanted to say about the politics that's coming out? I know I saw a headline there, Spirit. So easing yourself away from the daily political headlines. Those of you that do that, I don't pay attention to anything in the political headlines. So they're saying that soften. Yeah, I can see that. Soften yourself on those that will be called out that are of the shadow government, because their karma is going to be quite bad. And so just soften ourselves out and, just allow their karma to be. Yeah, I'm going to have I'll have specific episodes where we're just talk about fashion so that we can talk about denim. I love talking about denim. Yes, there's more to being balanced and in the flow of spirit intimately and sexually than just Kumasatra. There's a lot more to the experience and the exploration and the expression than just Kumasatra. So they're just saying that also to be open and flowing with creativity about where you can be led in your creative interests. So opening up new avenues and projects and portals with your existing creative gifts, and where it can go, leave that open, right? Open means you're allowing Source Creator to bring whatever and however to you in that manifestation. It's not only thinking that your creative gifts can be used in this, and this way. Your creative gifts are infinitely able to be used, because again, it remembers on what genre of collective is being awakened that Source is going to want to help with, right? Thank you. Lots of UK people. Thank you, UK. I love you. I love you, UK. So any telepathic questions you want to put, just send a question telepathically to me, through your higher self. Anything celestial, light ships, consciousness. Consciousness is everything. So they're just saying there's a board of directors that's going to be calling me, wanting some help with some things. That's fine. Just have to go through PayPal. That's fine. Just go through PayPal. Can we answer the questions in the collective? Yeah. Yeah. I don't have my glasses, so I can't quite read that. New channel, Southport, England. I'm going out with the staff at the heart of the foundation shop. Okay, I don't know what that means. Yeah, this is not a dating channel. I'm single by choice. That's also a viable option, right? I'd rather be alone than with those that are toxic. So they're just saying that there's going to be many in your collective that it's going to seem as if they're in kindergarten based on where their consciousness energy is at. So just be patient with them. Because some of us have been on this trip for about 20, 30 years. If you go back and listen to my videos, I talk about my age all the time. So you can go back and listen to some of my videos. You can practice your telepathy skills and I'll send it through you telepathically. Sensing your way around. So they're just saying sensing your way around. Yorkshire. Is it Yorkshire or Shire? Because sometimes I hear the people in their accents, they say Shire means sheer. They say sheer. Yorkshire? Is it Yorkshire or is it Yorkshire? How we pronounce it over here is Yorkshire. But when I was actually in England and UK, they said sheer, Yorkshire. Sheer, that's what I thought. Not Shire, I know. That's on the western side. Western Canada, we pronounce our vowels as they're meant to be pronounced. We pronounce it the right way. Blimey. Blimey, bloke. No, that's Australia. And then my client lives in Ireland. That's a whole different accent, isn't it? Isn't it? No. Is that Scottish? My ancestries are Scottish, so I had Scottish in my household. Gattles. Gattles. Get down here, Gattles. You're late for dinner, Gattles. Get down here. Gattles. We had lots of Scottish in our house. The Irish is a different one now. The Irish, I don't know about the Irish. Sounds a little bit different to me. Wouldn't you say? God bless you. God bless you, Fanny. What a wonderful day. What a wonderful day it is out there. It's like you always got to put your teeth together when you talk Irish, right? Oh, what a great day. What a great day, Fanny. I don't know. Is that the way what about my Irish clients? Do you talk with your mouth closed all the time? Is that how you say your accent? God blimey. What you saying? What you saying, girl? That's not how we talk at all. I always get mixed up between Irish and Scottish because I had Scottish in my house when I was younger. I see, I'm starting to say it. It's a Swedish accent. I don't know what a Swedish accent is like. I don't know that at all. Swedish. What is Swedish? I actually had a friend who was Swedish. Can't remember how he sounded though. Sweden? Oh, Sweden. No, that's Switzerland. Swedish accent, like talks like this. Maybe they say like their words are common like this. I don't know, Fanny. What you think? I don't know who Fanny is. If I had a friend, I'd hope her proper name is Fanny. Because I just like that name. Is anybody out there, Fanny? You look fantastic too, darling. Fantastic. Looking all fantastic. Are you from Dance Moms? No, I'm not from Dance Moms. No. I don't do reality shows. Not at all. Okay, let's tap into the Celestials, dear lighted ones. Celestials. Celestials. Where are you? So just talking Irish brought through a bunch of fairies. So the fairies are connecting with lots of space in Ireland. Lots of fairies in the Irish lands. I got goosebumps everywhere. So there's a huge fairy collective in Ireland. We base ourselves here for the renewal of templates and the grid work. So they do a lot with grids there. That's nice to hear. Thank you, fairies. They're showing me a stone. It's like a rectangular stone, concrete. It looks like concrete, but it's a stone slab. And the fairies are with this stone slab, and it's in the middle of a grassy area. Has this been found yet, Spirit? Is this something that's known? Not quite. So there is a concrete slab. They're saying tomb, T-O-M-B. It's going to be a part of new histories. Has not been found yet. So the fairies are doing a lot of work around that. So that's interesting because we know that when our consciousness is raising, is because I do a lot of sacred site travel. I'm really into sacred sites. Yeah, when our consciousness raises, there's going to be a lot of these sacred, otherwise I got lots of goosebumps with that one. Oh, huge goosebumps. Wow, that was a lot of energy. We know that when our consciousness raises, a lot of these sacred sites and new temples and new sacred temples are going to be found. There's a lot of energy in that one. Thank you. Fairies were operating with that one. I see fairies all around the concrete slab. It's like a lighter stone. It's not clay or red, you know. It's a lighter stone. It's like a gray stone. I see it gray. I see it gray. Lots of fairies in Ireland. I know that they just came through and they were presenting that slab. So there's going to be something come out in your Irish news about these findings of sacred geo. They're just saying geofrequencies, and the fairies are working with that land. They're saying it's going to be substantial for energy work. So maybe that's why you've stayed there, honey. You get a boost in your immune system in this space. And we've talked about that before with your vocational healing, right? Yeah. I just have to ground. That was big energy. So we're going to go to the Galactic Federation, the creators, Arcturians, Pleiadians, Sirians. So they're saying there's going to be, so they're saying that there's going to be a huge, well, comparison, right? Because we've been at a very slow pace of awakening. So in comparison to previous years, we're going to have, we're going to have more of an awakening to precious energies. So that means that Gaia, the precious energies, precious stones, precious land, so to keep it pristine. So there's going to be more activity this year, we're going to find, of making more spaces on our land protected, protecting sacred lands because of the energy it offers and the sacredness within the lands. It will be monumental, they're saying, how some people that are not awake can even feel these special places, and how to go about protecting the land. And those of us that are vibrational healers through many ancients and many celestial cosmic timelines, we will be asked to go to these places to do sacred communions, to keep the sacred energies, and also read off of the land. Like, what is the land telling us? What is the story behind this land? Because we all know that when we move to sacred land, we have the stories just live through us, and we can communicate in this way. So Spirit is saying these things are coming. There's going to be many more sacred sites that will be found, and those of us that read the land and have those sacred energies will be asked to travel and to create sacred ceremonies, and the stories are the stories within those lands that we do not know. Because we also have to understand too, which makes sense, right? We've only known our lands to be what we've been taught in our histories, but who's to say that most of our histories are just regurgitated the same information, but we need to start, as we've talked about in many of my videos, sacred lands and sacred temples and sacred consciousness is changing with us. So we need to be updating the stories of the lands so that it's higher consciousness. It's not always going to stay, because we don't want to keep recreating from the, yes, that's life that moved through that, but it's just like any one of us that's a living temple. We don't want people that know us to keep remembering us from that one point of life, right? From the 1970s to the 80s. No, I want to be known for my whole life, not just the 70s to the 80s. So this is what they're saying is our consciousness is going to change as to how we see sacred sites, and we living in that flow of source. So keeping that flow of source so that these stories get updated, because we don't want to see our sacred lands with just those stories. That's very limiting. I was told a long time ago when I went to Peru, I was told by I think it was the Arcturians, that of course land changes, and even if there was stones that were used in certain ceremonies, those stones change with every changing of the collective, because the collective consciousness affects all sacred sites. So of course the stories are going to be different. So we have to understand that, and that's bringing the new realities, the new energies, the new stories. We have to bring these new stories up, and we have to bring them through. Let's not have, yes, you can have a history class, and yes, it can be from our history, but we don't have to keep maintaining our everyday life in history. That's what they're saying. And that's what keeps us in a linear perspective, and we need to let go of that, because we want to be in the flow of multidimensional reality, how the land is speaking to us now. How is the land speaking to us now? Yes, it's okay that we have that history for information, but we want to be in the now energy. So it's really good that Gaia wants to be updated too, right? She doesn't want to be known just for that time period. Yes, these sacred sites are there, and yes, there's sacred temples there, but there's more to the energy that wants to live through it. It needs to be flowing. We need to flow source energy through all sacred land, because the grids are the grids. The grids are just like our chakras. The earth has chakra systems just like we do. So again, that's really good to know, because we've never seen it that way before. We've always been taught as the sacred sites, because that's traditionality. That's the education system we have. It's history, right? And history must stay history. Well, yes and no, right? We do have to have the updates. We do have to update the energy of everywhere on the planet. So that's really information. It's really great information. So thank you, Spirit. That's also part of the predictive energy about sacred sites and how we're going to be using them, and how we're going to be more sacred on the land, and how the energies and the stories are going to be updated, right? So we'll be using those that are storytellers, those that want to write stories about the land, and those of us that'll just channel the information, right? Is there anything that anybody wants to ask before I go? I didn't want to have this to be too long. So don't forget, for sessions, healing donations. I would love any donations anybody would like to send me. That would be wonderful. Any donations, paypal.me/Joanna L. Ross. It'd be nice if we had some donations from Divine Masculine. Hint, hint. Divine Masculines have not done any donating. It's been always Divine Feminine. So thank you, Divine Feminine. Just gonna ask a few more questions. A few more questions to the collective. So they're saying that there's going to be a series of lightship experiences within the next 45 days that you'll hear around the world, you'll see around the world. It's just in preparation for greater contact. So they're saying that the movies that will be coming out this year will also have greater, higher consciousness awareness, because the collective will be asking of it through their awakening of their consciousness. They'll be in direct relationship to arts and entertainment, to be asking of higher consciousness through arts and entertainment. So music and videos and music and movies, which is wonderful, finally, right? Higher consciousness, music and videos and movies. And they'll be asking those of us that are available for conversation. Yes, more than happy to provide any information multidimensionally for those that need to ask and want to be informed. Plus, I've written in my first book, I've written so many different experiences about all of my multidimensionality experiences. No more messages? My teams keep going back to give me messages. So maybe I'll go and do more messages with my teams. So remember, if you want to book a session with me, paypal.me/Joanna L. Ross. Donations, paypal.me/Joanna L. Ross. Is there anything I missed, anybody? One last chance to have a question. Going once. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what that slab is in Ireland. So they're saying that there's going to be a lot's come into humanity's awareness, 2026. It's going to be like a huge, they're just showing me a dumping, right? It's going to be a lot of dumping on humanity for 2026. And those are all good things because it's been held back, right? There's been no flow. So when there's flow of source, there's more abundance, there's more stories, there's more, creativeness, right? It helps the energy move. We need that. We need that so bad. They're also saying Lyra. Lyrans are there's quite a bit of Lyran energy in Ireland. So we're gonna have our tomorrow, the meeting room and the conference room is available tomorrow. So we'll be having it from the conference room tomorrow. So I'm gonna do a full channel. I'm gonna see what the teams have to say in the full channel. And thank you for staying with us this week as we've been moving around in the rooms and not having our normal space. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, Lyran. So Commander Ashtar is saying again, which we've been talking about every one of our videos, capacity and aptitude is going to be really important. And it will be evident for those that have not been practicing capacity and aptitude. Right? I think we had a video 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I think this winter, and we first talked about capacity and aptitude. So if you go back to my videos and just, it's all about your multidimensionality, really expanding, as I told you, the beings that were standing in front of me, you have to have the capacity and aptitude to that reverberation of them standing before me. It's a transference. So wherever they're at and whatever their gifts and skills are, I can feel it. And then that's a big activation for me. It's like, oh yeah, why didn't I think about that? Because you're used to being around people that aren't activated at all. So this is why Source will bring in those that have been on the path for a while. You have to have those that are higher above you so that they can activate you so that you're also getting what you need. Because most of us that are on the teaching edge, the guidance edge, we don't get any activations unless it's higher vibrational beings. So it's important that we also have to take care of ourselves and make sure that we're being fed and nourished at a soul level so we can then come and teach that flow. It's all about the cascading flow. Cascading flow of Source is so important. So any donations, that would be wonderful. If anybody would like to donate, book a session, book an appointment, activations, healings, connecting with your teams, connecting with Source. The relationship and alignment with Source is so key. It is reconnecting all that we are back with Source. And that will be healing all of the systems that have been kind of breaking over the years. Because we know exactly why there's so much wounding and there's so many issues in the collective is because they're not doing their wounding. We're not looking at it and facing it and healing it. So healing is going to be pivotal for 2026, and light, intelligent wisdoms, of course. Yeah, it's wonderful. Okay, so I'll let everybody go. Have a nice short session today. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We've put out lots of videos this week, so go and have a look at our other videos. We talked about our business, I think the business yesterday. We talked about the business plan for your vocational alignment. All right, see if you go back and watch those videos. Again, donations, that's awesome. If you want to learn certain things, you can book a session with me, and then I can direct you, or I'm going to be doing classes in the new year. I just have to have my equipment and space set up so that I know what days and times I'm working with, and I have to get my calendar all ready. I'll be looking forward to that. A whole bunch of new stuff. New. That's wonderful. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Hello, Swedish. Hi, I'm Swedish. Swedish. I think Swedish have that kind of an accent. Swedish. Yeah, it's wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We can talk about that tomorrow, Spirit. Actually, I'll channel something when I get off. People have asked twice about it, so I need to do something in writing, I think. Hello, Turkey. Yay. So we'll let you go, everybody. We love you, we love you, we love you. Book your sessions, connect with me. Remember, there's only 2 ways to connect with me, through PayPal and through sending any documents, hard copy. Benevolent, because if it's not benevolent, my teams will make sure that I don't get it. It won't be found to me. It'll be sent to the cosmos garbage dump. The Celestials will get rid of it. I love everybody. I love you. I love you. I love you. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in. I love you. Please share our channel. Please share our channel. We love you. We love you. Consciousness is everything. So be your truest, highest version of you. We love you. We love you.